All right, we'll try this. Try this in one take. I want to talk about Espada y Daga for a moment. It's one of the most intimidating elements of Filipino martial arts I have ever come across, even more so than doble baston for me. I find it, upon initial examination, incredibly intricate and wonderfully complex, but when I spoke with Tuhan Philip about it, he alluded to the idea that in the practice of learning, you develop certain skills. And this is sort of how I want to approach it. I don't have it in me to memorize set sequences, the pre-contradas, the contradas, all three sets, and the technical elements of the process of learning Espada y Daga. I don't want to be necessarily lazy about it, but what I saw at the PTTA Asia Training Conference when Tuhan Philip was teaching were these movements that were in sequence. But if I took a moment to deconstruct what those individual moments were, I found that I've done those movements before, and so I feel in my exploration of Espada y Daga, I will continue to watch people like Tuhan Philip Pelinas and also Tuhan Jack Latorre from PTI, who has an incredibly just beautiful interpretation of Espada y Daga. So if you get a chance to learn from either Tuhan Jack Latorre or Tuhan Philip, please do so. These two are my biggest inspirations as far as Espada y Daga goes, but I will continue to choose to explore it in my own way, understanding fully that it's a limited flight path, that I'm not going to get the nuances, the intricacies, and the absolute beauty in this system. I want to first be able to learn how to navigate through the long and the short weapon in a sparring, fighting environment. So my process typically begins with this. I am exploring here. I don't know necessarily what I'm doing. I'm breaking down elements of movement that I've seen before. I know that the dagger tries to find insertion points in between slashes and thrusts of the long sword. I know that both can be used in offensive and defensive applications, often simultaneously. So here I'm sort of just shadow boxing. I'm imagining a scenario, I'm imagining an attack and how I might deal with it with this stick and with this dagger. And for me, I prefer the exploration to be baston y daga. In other words, I'm going to transition this stick into a sword eventually, but for now, because of the training methodology that I employ and the competition platform that I choose, I'm going to end up using a stick anyway, so I'm going to see it as a stick for now. I feel maybe this is closer to my roots anyway. It's a stick and a knife. I feel very Filipino doing it, and I can tap into this sort of warrior sensibility that is a hypothetical pursuit for me up to this point. But yeah, I'm going to begin exploring a little bit more, drawing inspirations from as many sources as possible, fighting with it as often as I can, and trying to discover my interpretation or my manifestation of baston y daga. It's really, really a cool exercise for me. And I feel like it's awakened a part of me that I was fearful of exploring, which was this idea that the left and the right work harmoniously. And this is really, I mean, I really don't know what I'm doing here, but I am finding insertion points for the dagger. I am imagining multiple attackers and how the dagger may be a deterrent for, attacks from my flank, and how do I navigate through movement of the stick and the dagger in a way that protects me. But really, it's so cool. It's such a cool exploration, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a vision on how to gain some clarity. And I do have amazing people around me that I will continue to draw inspiration from, people like Tuhan Philip, people like Tuhan Jack, and until I figure this out, I'm just going to try my best to enjoy the process. So that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching.